Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Show Live North Pole Happy Hour post Easter. I hope everyone had a wonderful Easter yesterday. And with me today, as always, we have Phineas T. Elf right over there. And
Good afternoon, everybody. Hello. How are you
you're
today?
the best co host that you could ever ask for. How are we, gentlemen?
Good. TGIM as always. How's everybody? Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter.
Good,
Oh,
good. We did. We had family time. Angela cooked ribs out on the grill and had a nice little feast. Enjoyed it greatly.
wow. Good. Yeah, it
And
wasn't that good. We had crazy weather around here. At church, it was so cool. They had 3,900 Easter eggs for the children to
wow, that's
to
a
to get.
lot.
3,900 around the church for them to get. It was fantastic. There was just the, the grass looked like you hardly even saw any grass. I mean, they had two different areas, but it was fantastic. It was so much fun to watch.
That's pretty cool. And that takes us all back to our memory of being a child and hunting for eggs. Of course, back in our day, it was more of the hard boiled, colored. Always fun to help color the eggs. And
Now they're plastic and reusable, refillable from
now they're
Amazon.
just liquid
Yep.
candy, or they're just candy. And either way, though, it's a
It's fun.
childhood memory that stays with you for a lifetime.
Yep.
Absolutely does. And yesterday kind of caught up on what Artemis 2, the moon mission, was doing and how that was going, and looking forward to seeing more pictures from there. They had a fantastic picture up this morning of close up as they approach, and that
Crater.
Carol and I and Angie sat and watched the launch the other day, and it again brings back those memories from our childhood when the Apollo mission was going on, and how much the technology has changed, and just looking forward to space travel in the future because I think it's something that most people on Earth are interested in. We want to get out there and see what's out there.
Because there's somebody else out there.
There's got to be.
Somebody else out there somewhere. We can't.
Yeah, that's right.
Um,
There's just no way. And you know the Lord made the heaven and earth, so the heaven is vast, and we still don't see the edge of it. We think we've kind of have found it, and then we find another galaxy beyond that, and so who knows? Who knows what the future brings? All right, I want to say thank you to everyone that's showed up today to watch us and listen in, and maybe take a little bit of something away from the show. Got two great segments today with Randall and Phineas as always towards the end of the show, but we want to kick it off with Santa B's inspirational hot cup of cocoa segment.
Ho, 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 and happy day, my friends. Santa B back with you here again today. And today I'm moved a little bit to share some scripture and talk about what it means. And just bear with me here from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. I started looking at that idea of love after a conversation with some friends the other day, and that idea of how Paul starts out that chapter talking about doesn't matter what I can do, if I don't do it with love, it doesn't matter. And I got to thinking a lot about our role as Santas and as members of the Christmas community. And it doesn't matter if you have the most expensive, fanciest wardrobe, or if you have the most perfect beard or dress or shoes or greatest magic trick, or even the most impressive musical skills. If you do it without love, it doesn't matter. And I think we all know we have to have some love for the community, some love for the craft, some love for the character, some love for ourselves to put the work into it. And it's always easy to think about the love for the kids. But just thinking about love for everybody, the parents, the photographers, the grandparents, everybody that we work with as a member of the Claus community, we have an opportunity to show them love. We have an opportunity to show that bigger than anything else we do. The greatest magic trick or song in the world pales in comparison to walking away from somebody who knows they have been loved. So I encourage you, my friends, as you work on your character portrayal, whatever it may be, Santa, Mrs. Elf, don't forget to focus on the love you bring to all those things for all these people, because that matters. Be blessed, be well, love you all.
Love it when he speaks. Love it when he speaks. You know what I really love too was that shirt he had on. Did you pay attention to his shirt? That was pretty cool. Pretty cool shirt he had for sure.
It is so true about the first thing is the heart and the love we need to say. It doesn't matter if you're a good singer doing magic. It doesn't matter if you're tell a wonderful story. It's the love that Santa, Mrs. Claus, and emits to the children and the families. That is the bottom line. There is no. You can do all the other gadgets, like you said, $5,000 suit, dresses, doesn't matter. It's how much love you let them feel, and that's a good feeling.
And what Don Ryan Rice says, I have never seen anyone who gets into being a Christmas performer just to receive a paycheck last very long, and that is the truth. If you're just in it for the dollar sign, you're not going to last because people are going to tell. They're going to be able to see.
It is so true, Phineas.
We often use it as a paycheck. Don't get me wrong, like that. But unless you have the heart for it, like Phineas says, he's exactly right on, and Bob's right on. You're not going to last. It's not going to work. You've got to have a pure heart for it.
In the big scheme of things, that paycheck is the least important.
Yeah.
And if you once you get yourself established, you start off small, slow, buy what you can afford, put back a little bit from each season as you build that piggy bank, you might say, then you can afford to upgrade. But there are certain things that we have to have each year, so the money does help keep us going. But you guys are right, and Santa B was right. Art is everything.
Yep.
All right, what's first up on our menu today? The Elf Appetizer. Let's see this. This thing makes me laugh every week. I just laugh so hard.
You can't help but smile. Can't help but get a
smile.
Oh, gotta love it.
Well now, that's not just a burger, that's a statement. Welcome to the Elf Appetizer, where we get straight to the meat of the hot topics. Stop drooling, fellas, we're just getting started. We stack it high, truth, humor, a little heat, and we don't nibble around the edges. So pull up a chair, loosen that belt, and let's take a real bite out of this thing. Let's carve into it.
Okay, for today's Elf Appetizer, we're responding to an interesting statement that was posted recently on the interwebs, and we're going to ask people to be respectful in your responses to this because there is a wee bit of controversy here. So this statement was posted quite recently. Santa is a combination of Danish traditions such as Julemanden and 1930's American commercialism. Being Santa is not being Christian. Santa is folklore, a fictional character. As Santa, I do not portray St. Nicholas and do not promote any religion or Christianity. And for the question is, as Christmas performers, how many of you incorporate any religion with children, particularly Christ or the Nativity? And I guess I will dive into the deep end first. It honestly depends, because when we are hired by a company, we are there to be on behalf of that company and represent the spirit of Christmas. If someone comes up and talks about the true meaning of Christmas, the reason for the holiday, that we will go there, but we will not use our ability to engage with people as a reason to proselytize unless we are asked to. We have a local group. We do several churches where we do a Christian message, and because that is expected and anticipated. We have a local charity that we definitely do a Christmas message, and Santa, David, who I work with, is actually a Presbyterian minister, so he's able to provide a children's message and a children's lesson, and we do offer that as one of the services we do. But if we are at a family residence or a corporate gig, that is not what we are there for. We are there to represent the spirit of Christmas, being Santa and Phineus. So, where appropriate, where we are engaged, where someone opens the door to allow us to do that, we will do that on a one-on-one basis. But if we are doing it for a company picnic or something, unless we were told to, we will just be Santa and Phineas.
Couldn't have said it any better.
Exactly. Yeah. It's if the children, if they say, well, Santa, you're so and so. Yeah. The real reason for the season is the Christ child and all that. That you can say that, or if you want to pray for somebody because they forgot, they missed their grandma and grandpa. It's always good. I've done that, but not to promote it as a religious vehicle. I remember years ago here in the metro area that Santa became, even saying the word Santa Claus was, they thought was too religious for the holidays. Local schools wouldn't have Santa, or they couldn't publicize Santa. And they couldn't say somebody from the North Pole, they couldn't say Santa Claus because it was offending people. They thought it was too religious. That, thank goodness, has gone away. But yeah, even though we are Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, we are at the holiday season. I know I've never portrayed St. Nicholas. I've never pushed the issue. I will say those things. We'll say a little prayer, or that is the reason for the season, but never to, like Phineas says, what your clients are hiring you for is to interact with the children, to make them smile, to bring them hope, and all those kind of things. That's what they're there. That's what we're there for. Unless you do a church and you're doing a message, and there are plenty of things to do a message for Santa or Mrs. Claus for Christmas. I mean, for religious sentiment, there's plenty of things to do.
And the other question that comes up sometimes that you hear that's kind of related to this topic while we're on it, that there are some folks who are in the Christmas community that are atheists. They do not believe, and then we have all different denominations across the board. And so, again, Christ is Christ, but you still got to be careful in your message if you do speak of it, because you're not sure what the denomination of that child or that family is. And if you Muslim or whatever, and it's not interpreted the same way, that could cause a rip. So be careful in what you do say.
70 some hours, during the holidays. And the lady that I report to her that hired me originally about 7, 8 years ago, her family's Jewish, but that her responsibility is to hire Santa to do the Christmas setup, the tree lighting, everything. It doesn't matter. It's not that it's Santa can be connected with that way, but you still have to be who we are, and like Mr. B said, it's from do the hard thing. You're making them happy, so showing them love. So it shouldn't matter what religion.
I always say that Santa loves all of God's children, regardless of their faith or background, and that we are there to provide a universal experience of universal love for everybody, regardless of where they come from, who they are, or what faith they believe in. So.
Now, and for those who was at North Pole Cornerstones back in February, Santa Scott Seriton there in Oklahoma City did his segment on the Jewish holiday of Christmas and being raised Jewish as he was, and that was great for those who was wanting to know more information. There you go, more information about how they celebrated their holiday and things. It was an excellent segment, probably. Now, I don't want to sound Debbie Downer here, but that's probably the best thing Scott's ever done. That was a great segment that he did.
Yeah, we had a good time playing Dreidel. Never really played it before. I've heard about it, but never really played the game, so it was fun.
And you can tell his teaching of the Hanukkah Jewish
yeah,
faith that
very good. It's very good.
it came from the heart for him, and it meant a lot.
And it's easy when you're experienced and you know a topic. It's when you're asked to do something and you think you know it, you start doing research on it, and then you find out, wow, I have learned a lot in my research, and it makes it a little bit harder to present it because now you got a whole different basket full of things that you need to make sure that you cover. Scott was a natural at it. He did such a great job.
Yeah.
Kudos off to him. Let's see here.
Got some.
Looks like we got some coming in. Let me put this one up.
John Royce says one of the best Santas I ever saw was a rabbi. That's a cool line. That's from Don. Very good.
Here's one for you, Phineas.
So Hal Grant says in response to the Artemis, the Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen is the best friend of his cousin. Met him a few times at her cottage. So
very nice.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got on here. Is this the one that you just addressed from Don?
Yep, that's the one I addressed from Don. Yep.
Okay. Very good. Make sure I don't miss anything here. Going kind of slow and.
I got them all starred. I don't know if you know.
Okay, no, I wasn't looking for the star, so thank you. All right, here we go. Another one from Don.
Further to the money issue, unless you are independently wealthy, you get to have some recompense from being a Christmas farmer. It just costs too much to do a good Santa.
Absolutely.
And that is the truth.
Next on here is from Ernie.
Only if I'm asked about it from a child or an adult. Basically, Ernie, I'm sure that's about the religious end of it. If, like I said, unless the child wants to, do you know, or can you help pray with me, or can you bring grandma back, or you can do it a different way that way, and then you're kind of asked that way.
Yeah, you got to be careful in your delivery, exactly, and being. Of course, I have my Santa Central shirt on today.
Ooh.
Kind of show it off there a little bit, but being a Santa Central Cherry Hill Santa at the mall, we really have to be careful again, but we see so many different variations of children. For me, for years, and when I was out away from the mall, or even sometimes at the mall, I would just do this little sleight of hand trick. I've talked about it before. Take a regular penny and replace it with a cross penny. And of course, then if the child says something back to me about that being a cross or whatever, then, you say, yes, it is, and kind of leave it at that. But I've had families open up and go, oh, wow, that is so great that, that you are doing this and showing the love of Christ. And it really depends on the individual family or child. Here's another one, Phineas.
Depending on the visit, I bring up Christ there as Santa for the kids, and that is Pat Wesson. And yeah, again, depending on what the visit entails, you can bring up what you need to do to make the client happy.
Moving on.
That's everyone's personal decision. If a client wants to mention the religion, then sure. With that being said, though, I'm not walking around as an atheist home trying to convert them or a household. That's why I'm not there. It's right, Kane. We're not there to push the religion on them because Santa is kind of a middle-of-the-road character. Exactly.
And boy, I can remember, going back into the 60s, 70s, 80s about how the church, there was, the 40s and 50s, post-World War II, the church became a place for families to go and Sundays, picnics, different church events. And then in the wild child of the 60s and the 70s, things started changing and you saw the decline of attendance at churches. And the one thing that kept popping up was the comment, I don't want to be force fed or be preached to by anyone.
Right.
That's my decision. If I don't type of comments. And that's exactly, I think, what Randall was conveying there. Bill Coach says, I let the family lead the conversation. I'm comfortable talking with them if they want. Good point, Bill. Bill's always got good stuff to say. Here's one to Phineas.
Ray Bradshaw says that his Santa is an old world representation far older than Christmas. He respects all faiths.
Very good. Thank you, Ray. Another one here.
Tricky subject, totally. I believe in living as Nicholas. I would want me to live in a manner that God can, life through me. One needs respect. The secular, but secular means it could be difficult. That could be difficult.
Yeah, another great point. Got more coming in here. There you go. One for you, Phineas.
Don Weinreich says one of the best Santas he ever saw was a rabbi, and I can see that. I can see that because they're a person of faith and good at dealing with people and interacting with people of all different sorts. So yes.
And Joseph Markey was a great one too.
Mm-hmm.
Worked with Jewish, Spanish, Eastern, Asian, Indians, all type of Santas. That's why it shouldn't matter. We're that character. It shouldn't matter what religion, what color of the skin, what they are.
Yeah. Raymond Bradshaw says we all know God. It's just we know God by different names, and that is the truth.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. All right. Here's one for you, Phineas.
And that's actually where I'm actually able to, when I'm preparing things for Santa, often I get asked by children who are particularly new to the area, they're asking about who Santa is and what Santa represents. And so I use that as a way to explain to them in terms that hopefully they can understand who Santa is and what he represents. And if you can put it in terms that they could understand through their culture, typically for this event that David's talking about, they're Muslim and Hindu. They're much more at ease with the concept of, what Santa represents and who he is as a being. So.
Yeah, and I think up in you guys' neck of the woods in the Michigan, Canada area up there, there are a lot of Muslims, and so again, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one from Santa Doug. This one's rather long, but go for it.
Go ahead, Phineas. You're a good one on this one.
Okay. Many cultures influence Santa's looks and acts today. I believe the origin of Santa comes from St. Nicholas, a Christian bishop known for his kindness and generosity. Long before modern advertising, Nicholas the tradition of giving to others in love, which is why Santa continues to represent compassion, generosity, and hope. But Christmas is and always will be a Christian celebration, just like Easter.
I was waiting for that point to be made, and Doug made it elegantly.
Yep. And Joseph Cunningham agrees with Doug's sentiments. So, Doug, you've got someone close by to you supporting you. So.
All right, it's best to remember to read the room. Santa should love all mankind who loves his fellow man. He is God's reward to mankind. That from Mr. Morgan there. And I believe that brings us to the end of that segment. Very good.
Very good.
That's a can of worms. And the comments went on and on and on, and there was pro and there was con, and it was a topic that was getting beat both ways. And so we wanted to bring it to the Monday crew and let you guys give us what you thought, because
give it to Phineas to read.
we have a very educated audience on Mondays, and we love asking these questions, and sometimes they're a little bit on the controversial side. Sometimes we make you use your brain. Sometimes, your response is more than we could ever expect. So fantastic job, everyone.
I just hope everybody still says Merry Christmas instead of years ago here. They wanted Happy Holidays. They wanted to get the word Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So I really hope everybody can go back to, or has been back for years, to say Merry Christmas because it is the reason for the season, like Doug said and all that. So I mean, we can't never forget that, but um, hope we can keep the Merry Christmas and not the. But Happy Holidays does encompass everybody, but.
Well, and I saw that shift, I think more so as we were coming out of COVID. It seems like that culture kind of changed. COVID changed us, made us think in a different way, made us see things in a different light, maybe. And so I saw that tradition of going back to tradition of saying Merry Christmas and those sort of things start, really becoming more and more. And this last season, it seemed like we were all the way back to where we were. And we've seen more and more folks attending church lately, too. I don't know if COVID had anything to do with that, if it's just the political climate, if it's religion in general, the world as it is today. But it's kind of good to see a shift in a positive direction if that's what you believe. And if it's not, then, it's not going the way you want it to. But I have seen a shift. And it seems like it started in 2020, 2021, 2022. It kind of made that full transition. You guys see the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in church. I mean, we kind of were running out of seats in yesterday, but of course it's Easter Sunday, but it's nice to see that and definitely see the shift of everybody's okay with the. I don't remember last how many years anybody ever saying, well, isn't it? Don't you shouldn't say Happy Holidays instead? Like Kane said, it'll always be Merry Christmas for me, and it always was for me too.
Yeah.
So I think it's I think like Bob said, we need something to hold on to the way the world is now even more, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring when it comes to that.
And I know in America and North America, not just America, because I don't see a border between us and Canada, even though there's difference in uh, or representation by the government. I still feel that the two closest nations back to back, and I really feel like that a lot of us are traditionalists. We like what we grew up, the traditions we grew up with, and so we hang on to those. We teach that to our children, our grandchildren, and so it's just kind of a way for Americans of all denominations. And I mean, I've even had Muslims say Merry Christmas to me, knowing that that was out of character for them. And because we do have a pretty good population of Muslims here in North America now, too. All right, that was a great segment. Our time is up for that. We're going to jump into santascloset.org, North Pole Happy Hour, the Sleigh Bell Brain Teaser, and the Closet Effects Bonus Round Trivia coming up right now.
Real quick,
Yes.
I don't know what's going on. Doug noticed it also, but on Facebook and YouTube, it keeps dropping our cameras. Like it's rotating. One time it'll take you off, and then the next it'll take off Phineas.
The Kringle brothers had the same problem the other night, and they came to the conclusion that it was something going on with EV which is the platform that we use.
Okay.
Same thing happened the other night. It only happens momentarily, and it comes right back on. So
see, there goes Phineas. He's off.
you can still. I seem fine here in our studio.
It's working fine on the stream, but like.
Well, maybe it's something pairing EV Mucks up to Facebook and YouTube. I'm not sure. You don't lose audio, I don't think, do you?
I hope not.
I think we're good. Okay, let's continue on. Let's go ahead and jump into our Santa's Closet trivia.
Okay.
All right, Phineas, santascloset.org sends out gifts each week. So we just want to remind everyone that we need your T-shirt size if you are the winner, and then the producer needs a little something there from us too, don't they, Phineas?
Yes, they do. We need your address, and we also need your shirt size as well. But when we do ask you for the answer, we all want the letter and the actual written answer, the letter and the actual written response. We've created it multiple choice to make it easy, but we want you to give us the written answer and the letter. So by all means. So today's question, the sleigh bell brain teaser, is Christmas gift bringer, Julemanden, can be directly translated as A, the goat man, B, the fabled man, C, the Yule man, D, the bearded man. So once again, Christmas gift bringer, Julemanden, can be directly translated as A, the goat man, B, the fabled man, C, the Yule man, D, the bearded man.
And always remember, you need to put the letter and the answer. Need both, not just one or the other. Need both.
And the reason for that is because we do have two questions, and they both contain A, B, C, or D. It's easier for our producer to decipher which is which. And therefore, if you give the letter and the answer, that makes it simpler for her. Thank you.
All righty. The next one is, in Denmark, a special postal address is used by a Post Danmark for the children who want to write to the Julemander. Julemander?
Julemanden.
Thank you. Which is correct translation, which is the correct post office number. A, 2412 Reindeer Way. B, 1224 Merry Christmas Lane. C, 1225 Good Christmas Road. Or D, 1225 Workshop Drive. Remember, we need the letter and the answer on both of those to get in to make it. It's is the Denmark special postal address was used by a post. It's Denmark. It should be a Denmark, right? Denmark, not
Denmark.
Denmark. For the children who want to write to the. So remember, letter and both of them on there. So Angela can differentiate what one you're answering, especially. Cool, man. Those words, so at least they're not the blank and 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 blank.
Yes, this is true. Although tomorrow night's trivia does have a blank, but with the multiple choice, it makes it a lot easier because at least you know what that blank is supposed to be.
There you go. Yeah.
Somewhat without going into it blindsided. So very good, guys. Get your answers in. They've been rolling in ever since the question was put up. So we'll let the producer decipher through that. We're going to borrow her, though, for a minute and pull her away from that so she can play our next video. As you saw, North Pole Cornerstones is making great strides this year. We're way ahead of the game of where we were this time last year, so we're excited. already started putting a curriculum together and the presenters, and everything is looking so good there. February 18th to the 21st, 2027, 4 days in Oklahoma City. Over to you, Randall.
Alrighty. Brain teaser? It's a different brain teaser?
What's that?
There's a brain teaser and trivia on there. Sorry, I'm reading the screen. I apologize.
No, no. She's left that up for them to work on it.
There you go.
We're at.
You know what? No, I didn't fix the thing the other day.
So those are definitely different questions, but that's okay.
I see.
That's from last week.
I see. Don't disregard what's on the screen now, except for Phineas and Randall and myself.
I'm still over here working.
What Bob wants me to talk about is Wondrous Women of Christmas. That's coming up here. They have two different events coming up. The first one is in June in Cincinnati, the 25th through the 28th in Cincinnati. Deadline is the 15th of May. Then the second one is in St. Charles, Missouri, September 10th through the 13th. And the deadline for that, I have to move the paper, is July 15th. What's cool about it is both events has scholarships. There are 2 scholarships for each event, so they're giving out 4 scholarships. Me as Randall Checker Santa Lee, Randall Santa Checker Lee. There we go. I got my name mixed up. Giving out a scholarship for both, and then also Liz also is giving out a scholarship for both. So what a great deal. Check that out. It's been posted on Facebook quite a bit, how to apply for those 4 different scholarships. There's 2 for each. So great chance to do that. Of course, don't forget, do the trivia question here. North Pole Cornerstones next year. You got a chance to win those. So, man, what a way to go. You pay for your schooling. But if you need more information, go to womenofchristmas.com.
I tell you what, guys, doing it live is so much fun. So much fun. All right. Producer, can we go to our next segment, Digging Deeper with Phineas, brought to you by Thermal Apparel and Holiday Photo Magic.
I can find
Digging. She's digging for it is what she's doing, Phineas. She's digging for the file.
Okay, I got it.
See, perfect. Look at that.
Yay! Okay, so last week on Building Your North Pole, I talked about what does the sky look like at North Pole at Christmas time, and I wanted to make sure that it was indeed at Christmas time because we all know it's dark up in the North Pole for pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week after December 21st. So we talked about the big things like that. So let's talk about something small now. Santa, where do you keep your suits? And I'm not talking the clothes you wear at the workshop. I'm not talking about what you wear around the house, your pajamas, your pants, or anything like that. I'm talking about the suit. Do you keep it in your closet with your regular day-to-day clothes? Do you keep it somewhere by the sleigh because it's a specific item that you're wearing on Christmas Day? Because do you wear the suit around the house when you're, vacuuming and sweeping the floors? So where do you keep your suit of red? Do you have a special dressing area where you have your belt and your boots and the bells and, the brushes to brush the fur to make sure the fur is clean and tidy looking? Where do you keep that? When you work in the workshop, do you wear the suit in the workshop or do you take the coat off? Or do you have special clothes that you wear in the workshop because you're going to be working with woodworking tools and paints and glues and for the tech toys, solder and all sorts of stuff that could actually damage the suit. So these are all questions that you're going to be asked by children, because do you wear the suit year round, or do you just wear it on Christmas Eve? So there's lots of questions to ask. I think about here in Canada, we've got a theme park called Santa's Village, and in Santa's Village, they've got Santa's Cabin, and Santa's Cabin has a glass case which has the suit of red in it. And it is the official story for that suit is that the suit is there to absorb all the belief in Santa and all the Christmas magic. So when Santa puts it on Christmas Eve, it's got all the magic and love and belief that's been poured into that suit year round, that it enables him to do the job of delivering toys on Christmas Eve. And for that way, that means that the Santas that work at Santa Village are able to wear what is comfortable for being a Claus performer in July in Canada, when the weather is anywhere from 75 to 95 degrees outside with 100% humidity, in a cabin that doesn't happen to have air conditioning or climate control. So that is and Kevin Scarf, who is watching on YouTube, can talk more about that for sure. But we need to think about where Santa stores his suit when he's not wearing it, because you're going to be wearing different clothes for different situations. We see the Santas who do the baking cookies with Santa wearing their chef's apparel with the chef's hat and the cooking coats, or the workshop Santas with their work pants and the aprons on. At some point, you're going to be asked, why aren't you wearing the suit, and where is the red suit? If you're doing visits such as that. And so that will be something you'll need to have an answer for. So if you got up in the morning as Santa at the North Pole and you go to your closet, are your red suits there? Or are those your day-to-day walking around the North Pole, work clothes, etc., etc.? Or if so, do you have a special area in the closet where the suits are? If you're wearing your boots, do you keep the boots by the front door because you don't want to track in the snow and all the slush and the reindeer poop in through the house, because I think Mrs. Claus would get pretty upset if you did that. So things to think about, where you store the suit that you wear, the famous red suit. So just a very quick question to ask that can have a myriad of complex answers. And you need to be able to answer that quickly, strategically, and consistently in order for folks to still maintain their belief. So something to think about if you haven't thought of it. So wishing everyone a good week, hoping everybody had a happy and healthy Easter, and looking forward to talking to you next week.
Ho, 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 ho!
Shop Thermo Apparel. They're wonderful. They're fantastic. And for the coolest of cool Santas or Easter bunnies, remember Thermo Apparel.
Don't just be cool as an attitude. Keep cool, literally.
Thermo Apparel, be cool! Ho, 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 ho!
Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's showtime. Yes, it's time for a little bit of magical performance. What I want to talk about today is something actually I'm going to start out with. Something I'm going to give credit to Santa Jeff McMullen on this one. I learned it from him on one of the Monday night things. Actually, I found it because of him. Of course, we all know about Santa's nice list. We all know about that. But this nice list is unbelievable. Whoops, wrong way. It is phenomenal. This has over 80,000 names in it. Over 80,000 children's names. It is incredible the amount of names that are in here. In fact, I just did, of course, let's see if Angela's on the list. And there's Angela right there. Of course, she's on the list. And Mike. Mike's must is a little different. Let's see if Mike's on the list. And Mike's on the list there. And my name's a little different too, because Randall is usually spelled Randall. Is usually the way Randall is spelled. But they actually even have mine spelled in here properly. Randall with an L at the end, Randyl. And of course, yes, Phineus, you are in here also. Your name, Phineus, is also in the book. But the thing is, it's something you might not want to take too many places. It is a very heavy book, but it is fantastic book to have. I picked it up on Amazon. Just type in Santa's Nice List, and of course you'll get it in a few days. But there's over 80,000 names, and of course, if they don't have a name, we talked about this when I was on one of his classes. I always keep a book anyway. If I didn't, my other Santa Nice List, and I keep a little book with me that I'll write their name on a little fancy little book, a fancy, a note, fancier book. You don't want just a regular notepad, something more North Pole looking. Again, eBay find, to write their unique name and say we will add it to the list. But I haven't found a name yet that's not in this 80,000 names. So take a look. It's fun to do, especially if you're going to be sitting in a chair for quite a while. You can bring it, carry it out, and you've got it. It is big. It's a great addition. Again, since most of us don't want to do the naughty and nice list, just the nice list. But I want to give Jeff McMullen's class, his online class, Kringle U, props for this, because he showed that on one of the nights at it, and I just wanted to pass it on. It's a great thing to have. But Amazon, sorry, not getting money back from Amazon, but it's a great thing to have. Also, the next thing I wanted to show is, of course, there we go. Thank you, whoever did that. Perfect. Of course, children ask for a bunch of toys, and of course, Santa's supposed to know about all the toys that we get. And of course, most of the children, most of the boys, of course, will ask about Pokemon. Now, of course, you don't have to be a Pokemon expert to say that you can do something with. In fact, this is a trick that you do with 3 Pokemon cards. The green card means, I've got to remember it because I haven't done it for a while. The green, all these cards mean energy. This is actually, green means grass and a certain kind of power it has. Of course, the yellow card means a different type of energy, and of course, so does the blue. So I just want everyone to remember what the center card is. It's easy to remember. We have the blue, the green, the yellow, and the blue. Remember what the center card is. Remember what the center card is. Remember what this, actually the center card was, of course you guys remember what the center card was. I'll give you a quick little peek. And you turn around and say, well, the center card is actually my favorite card. One of my favorite Pokemon characters. He's the big guy. He's not Pokemon himself or Pikachu, but he's like 9 feet tall and 700 some odd pounds. But it's just a card trick you can do with Pokemon cards. And since so many boys, girls are into it, it's a great thing to have. It's called a 3-card money. That's just a regular, you go to any, get a pack of cards, and there's a, whoops, wrong one. a little flap to make out the yellow card. This gets hidden behind there. That gets hidden behind there. This gets put on front. You just make these, just go there and make these yourself. You can show the three. You can do a big story about them all you want to. You just take the center card out. That, of course, is that card. That shows that the other blue and the green are still here. So it's just something to take one of their toys and make it into magic and connect with them a little bit more. That Santa really knows, or Mrs. Claus or the elves. Especially, I think Phineas could have a lot of fun. He could be, because they are kind of weird characters. The Pokemon characters are pretty crazy. I think some elves could have a great time with promoting that kind of stuff for. Great. So I was going to do one more thing, but I think it's getting really close to the end of the time already. We're going to talk about next week. We're going to talk about Mrs. Claus and a fan next week. We'll be talking about that, and of course, we all know about the fairy dust, but I'm going to do that for next week because it's getting close. But this is something Mrs. Claus can do about those 4 magical colors that Santa does his fairy dust on, but we're going to use a magic fan for it instead. Thank you again. Have a wonderful week. Ta-ta for now. Stay safe.
Ho, 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 ho!
Shop Therm Apparel. They're wonderful. They're fantastic. And for the coolest of cool Santas or Easter bunnies, remember Therm Apparel.
Don't just be cool as an attitude. Keep cool, literally.
Therm Apparel! Be cool! Ho, 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 ho!
Confusion there. We got it all worked out. Everything good. I'm going to go back and pick up a few of these questions real quick. These are from Phineas's segment. Let me get my cursor to go up here and hit the button. There you go. Wardrobe cabinet was cedar from Santa Jerry. Was one of his comments.
No moths there. That's a good thing. So,
Ray Bradshaw says, different clothes for different situations. Santa doesn't wear these same clothes all the time, would be his answer.
exactly.
Going here from Kevin, it's also great to use as a story point when kids ask why Santa doesn't know their names. I'm not wearing that suit or the suit. Get rid of that one. Pull this one here up from Gareth. My preferred answer is to say that there are several elfin guilds, metalworkers, woodworkers, so on. One is a tailoring guild who have warehouses of suits and wardrobes. Another good point. Good way to handle that situation. Ray says, I asked him, do you wear the same clothes every day? Point made. Don says, I only wear the suit on special occasions. Otherwise, when I go about in the world, children and those who are young at heart may recognize me and change the way they behave.
Yep.
Another good point. think we have a couple more here. Ernie, of course, has a great one. I have a half mannequin off of the side where I enter in every location at the North Pole where my suit gets hung upon, but when not using my traditional red suit, often it is kept in the hyperbolic chamber while being infused with special Christmas magic. I like that one. Good job, Ernie. Mr. Bill Gorbett says, "Thank you, Phineas. Always something to think about." And Phineas, he does. He makes your brain work, doesn't he? Him and Randall both. A couple more real quick. Reading glasses become a great prop. At that point, they was talking about the comment up here where they was talking about they wish the letters were larger in the book that Randall had talked about. I'm going to pop this up one more time. I did it. I didn't want to leave it up too long in front of Randy a while ago, but this is one of the links to the book. $65 and some change. And it was real simple. I just put in Santa's nice list book, and it popped right up. So very first one, it popped up.
I will also say that Roy Stone at Jamstone Magic has an absolutely beautiful one, but it is much more expensive than the $65 one. I will say that, but it is custom made to order, and it has 65,000 names and room to write more names if there's anybody who needs to be added to your nice list. So
Nice prop from Roy Stone. If for those of you who knew Roy. Okay, that brings us into that. Let's go ahead and jump in here real quick and give our trivia answers. The sleigh bell, brain teaser, Christmas gift bringer, Julemanden can be directly translated as the Yule Man. That was answer C, and our winner there,
John Schnegelberger.
John Schnegelberger. Good job, John. Get
congratulations,
us your
John.
t-shirt size and your address again, just in case it's changed. I think I've got it, but be simple. Just go ahead and send it to me with your t-shirt size. I'll get that over to Wade at santascloset.org. And thanks santascloset.org for their contribution. As always, the Closet Effect bonus round in Denmark, a special postal address is used to write to Julemanden. And that was 2412 Reindeer Way, our winner there.
Paul Anderson.
Paul Anderson, your name gets put in the hat for the drawing. Again, very good, Paul. Great job, my friends. All
Do
right.
we need to remind people about the timeout after they've won the Santa's Closet again, just so folks remember?
That's true. There is a 8-week time out if you've won a trivia prize and you go in a holding pattern for 8 weeks and cannot win again. That way it spreads it out and everyone gets a chance to get a gift throughout the show season. Show season, yeah.
Keep those gifts rolling around. So just think how many different people are going to be able to get that the name of the hat for the North Pole. Just so many.
Yes, and that was one of the ideas of making 2 trivias, and then like tomorrow night on our Tuesday show, we actually have 3. So there, your name goes on the hat for 2 different scholarships, and there'll be 3 chances each. So the more names we get in there, the more opportunities everyone has. The more you win, the more your name goes in. Your odds go up. All right, Cherry Hill programs, please.
Button ready.
Sorry, I didn't give you a head start.
And John says he's used to being in timeout, so apparently John's a naughty boy. So
There's got to be a better way for me to do this. Okay.
Again, thank you to Thermapparel, Holiday Photo Magic, King Rest Partners, Caboose, SantaCloset.org, and Cherry Hill Programs over at Santa Central for all their contribution to the TNL Network family of shows. Don't forget to watch all our 2026 family of shows. The promo for that comes up as we start to close out the show here. We want to say thank you to everyone. Great show as always. Thank you, Phineas. you always bring the fire. And thank you, Randall. You always bring the magic. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to Angela, who stays confused all day today. Her lineup for her shows, again, are getting confusing and getting mixed up. And so she's going to have to work and do better, she says.
Always love you though, Angela. It's fine.
Well, and
As
we
you're
thought
here.
the trivia answers was going to make it a little bit easier, but I don't know if it has or if it hadn't, because she's still concentrating on that, and she has to play a video next, and maybe I need to look at it on my end. All right, thanks everyone. North Pole Nightcap. Any thoughts and takeaways, guys, before we go?
Have a great week.
Just
Thank you so
wanted to
much.
Just
Very
wanted to
good.
give everybody a heads up that tonight the Claus Connection with Sean White will not be happening tonight. She will see you all on the next Monday, April
That's
13th.
correct. She is off tonight. Good point, Phineas, as always. And tomorrow night, our guest is Shirley Winter, the 40 years of education, retired educator and special needs teacher. And she is the book lady. And we're looking forward to that one. For those of you who've seen her presentations at School of Santas and or North Pole Cornerstones or anywhere else that she may have given it, you will know that she brings good stuff also. Thanks, everyone. Good to see you. See you next week or tomorrow night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.